Hi, dear friends. Good morning. Welcome back to Akshayadare. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷನ್ನು ಅನ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಸಿಕ್ಸ್ತ್ ಜುಲೈ 2023. I hope you guys are working towards to improve our communication in English. And before going to start this session, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share with your friends so that I can update very informative videos related to education, healthcare, and the personal and use. So let's start the newspaper reading, and I hope you guys are following the tips which I have given in the previous videos. So just read the newspaper at least 30 days. You will get to know what is exactly. So we can learn easily anything, especially the English language. So let's go to start the newspaper reading. Today newspaper reading. So let's start the today newspaper reading. Let's see what's in the front page of the newspaper. The schools in Manipur reopen after 2 months. ISRO set for third moon mission. Data protection bill to go to parliament. Dwindling presence of Muslim MPs. Their share fell to 5% or less in 3 lakh sabas. Swiatek storms into the third round. Ajit moves AEC. Says he was elected NCP chief on June 30. SC extends interim protection for Teesta. Rival factions hold show of strength. There is no proposal yet to repeal Anti-Cows Slaughter Act. And Animal Husbandry Minister says the pros and cons of such action are still under discussion. Shakti scheme boosts RTC ridership. State government looking into plan for tunnel routes. State government plans to convert the elevated corridor network project into tunnel routes. BMRCL seeks customer feedback. It's a tunnel vision, says expert. The tunnel routes along a different alignment and the elevated corridor network projects were first proposed by the KI George when he was the Bangalore Development Minister in the earlier Congress regime. If the current proposal goes through, this is likely to be the longest network of tunnel routes in this part of the world. It's a tunnel vision, says expert. It lacks any scientific basis and logic and is a total disregard for long-term and sustainable solutions required for the city. It is a result of short-sightedness. HACOM likely to be roped in to do a feasibility study and DPR for the project, has worked on smart tunnel in Kuala Lumpur, multiple tunnel projects in Singapore and the Thane Borivali twin tube tunnel road in Mumbai. NHAI 2 proposes to build a tunnel route. 50% rebate scheme for traffic fine payment reintroduced. Cheers. Shakti boosts RTC ridership with 13.07 crore women beneficiaries so far. Transport Corporation plan to submit proposal to government to get the cost of free travel reimbursed after state budget. Gender and sexual minorities face a restricted access to physical, natural, financial capital. Departments seek reports on a functioning of stable employees welfare society. Koppal DC asked to verify facts in full complaint against Reddy. Two-wheelers and three-wheelers likely to be banned on expressway. March, April and May being holiday season accounted for 26, 22nd and 30 deaths respectively in accidents on the highway. Canara Bank hands over a check for 1,370 crore to Centre. Tomato price breaches 150 per kg mark. Tomatoes worth 2.7 lakh stolen from farm. Four killed in rain related incidents in DK Udupi. Man murdered. A 35-year-old man was allegedly clubbed to death by his cousin on Magdi Road. According to the police, the accused Farooq had a fight with his cousins over a trivial row on Monday. Both the disputed parties were called by their relatives at a shop on Magdi Road for reconciliation. During the process, the victim Sonu Pasha heckled Farooq for abusing the women verbally. Enraged by this, Farooq picked up an iron rod and attacked Sonu Pasha. A severe blow on his head rendered him collapsed, the police said. Four killed in rain-related incidents in DK Udupi. Bill tabled to roll back amendments made to APMC hacked by BJP government. Congress government cheating people by delaying implementation of schemes, says BJP. No proposal to repeal Anti-Cow Slaughter Act. HDK says he has documents on a corruption charge. Will study effect of Shakti scheme on auto rickshaws. 2.82 lakh acres of government land encroached upon. State government urged to give copra farmers a financial incentive in addition to MSP. Gram Sabha is asked to submit a list of homeless families soon. Heavy rain, rough sea batter Kerala. State witnessed incessant rain for the third consecutive day, triggered by a cyclonic circulation over the Bay of Bengal. Tamil Nadu governor's note sought to prosecute ex-AIADMK ministers. IHIH identifies third farmer's jackfruit variety of for promotion after success of Sidhu Shankara. Striking a blow against affirmative action in America. Let's go read this editorial page. Diminishing returns, India behind benefited as a member of the SCO, but the future is not bright. Let's read this editorial page. Striking a blow against affirmative action in America. In a groundbreaking decision on June 29, 2023, in a Student for Fair Admissions versus Harvard, the United States Supreme Court has deemed the race-conscious admission policies at Harvard and the University of North Carolina as unconstitutional and violative of the Equal Protection Clause in the 14th Amendment. As Chief Justice John Roberts stated, eliminating racial discrimination means eliminating all of it. This ruling can profoundly impact affirmative action programs, where race has historically been a factor to foster diversity in college admissions, such as in Texas and Michigan. Many believes that the award judgment now makes affirmative action nearly impossible in the US. SCOTUS underpinned its verdict with four reasons. First, it emphasized that the Equal Protection clause is color blind, and the term equal protection means identical treatment. Thus, the race-based affirmative action contravenes this promise. Second, it affirmed that any such contravention could only be justified if the state has compelling goal, and affirmative action is absolutely necessary to attain it. The state must articulate this goal clearly to enable judicial scrutiny. The court found Harvard and the UNC's objectives, such as training future leaders, as commendable but vague. Third, the court reiterated an earlier ruling that affirmative action policies should have a sunset clause. However, both Harvard and the TNC lacked this. Lastly, the court held that affirmative action should not rely on racial stereotypes or disadvantage anyone based on race. Two aspects it identified as problematic in this case, with Indian courts often drawing upon US judgments and given shared stories of discrimination based on caste and race. India and the US, it is pertinent to examine the implications of this decision for India. Can this lead to reservations being either curtailed or considerably diluted? Two different constitutions. The Indian and the US constitutions are proposed apart on how they treat affirmative action. The US constitution is silent on it, prohibiting only the denial of equal protection, leading to varied interpretations of this amorphous phrase depending on the sitting justices. To today's majority, it means exactly what it meant in the 19th century. Color blindness to the dissent. It means consciously treating historically oppressed races differently. The Indian constitution is more clear. Thanks to its framers, it expressly allows affirmative action in favor of backward classes in matters of education, Article 15, and a job, Article 16. Article 16 expressly permits reservations in jobs, something that is unique to the Indian Constitution. In fact, this reservation provision was part of the original Constitution is as enacted on January 26, 1950. Unlike affirmative action in education, which was introduced the next year through the First Amendment, India's courts routinely debate the granular questions. What percent of seats or posts can the state reserve? How should the beneficiary classes be identified? Unlike the US, however, India's courts do not debate as to whether affirmative action is fundamentally permissible. For the Constitution conclusively answers this question. Formal versus a substantive equality. Another distinction is the notion of equality that lays the foundation for affirmative action in both jurisdictions. The US seeks to eliminate all distinctions based on race universally. The reason being equality cannot mean different things for different individuals. This applies even for affirmative action that may be justified to undo the historic discrimination faced by African Americans or Hispanics or other groups. Thus, measures which treat one race as distinct from another in any manner, including a preference in education, are viewed strictly and against equality. This narrow view of equality is called a formal equality and prevents a US courts from allowing broad based race conscious measures. India, on the other hand, does not treat all distinctions of race or caste alike. Certain classes, such as the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and backward classes who have faced discrimination in the past, are not considered on a level field with others. To help them to achieve equal opportunities, it is imperative that they have access to reservation. As just K.K. Matthew explained in 1976, the notion of equality of opportunity has meaning only when a limited good or in the present context a limited number of posts should be allocated on grounds which do not a priori exclude any section of citizens of those that desire it. Thus, reservation is not antithetical to equality, but a tool that furthers equality. This is called a substantive notion of equality and facilitates Indian courts to pass pro-reservation judgments in sync with the constitutional mandate. In this context, a decision such as the Harvard University case is unimaginable for Indian courts. Test for constitutionality. Further, the test to determine whether affirmative action or reservation is constitutional also varies substantially. The US has a strict scrutiny of all measures that create distinctions based on race. This means a measure is constitutionally permissible only if it furthers a compelling state interest and is narrowly tailored to achieve such interest. The only permissible state interest in the US is the need for a diverse student body. Once this is established, it must be proved that the measure closely correlates to diversity. This is a high standard that makes it extremely difficult for universities to devise admission programs that are favorable to that minority race. Any broad measures are viewed with great caution, though, so that non minority candidates are not disadvantaged at the cost of minority. In stark contrast, Indian courts have a very different standard to meet under Articles 15 and 16 of the Constitution. Education and public employment are already enshrined in the Constitution as legitimate goals for reservation. Thus, the standard adopted by courts focuses on whether the class seeking reservation is socially and educationally backward and inadequately represented. In employment, this requires proof of quantifiable data from the state. If these two criteria are met, even broad reservation measures are constitutional and the interests of the non-minority are instead taken care of by capping reservations at 50%. Given India's constitutional mandate that champions substantive equality and adopts a more reasonable test, Indian courts are unlikely to align with this quota's Harvard ruling. Courts have repeatedly sounded caution that foreign decisions should not be relied on without a proper appreciation of the context in which they were rendered. However, the emphasis on a sunset clause, akin to the Indian Supreme Court's suggestion in the economically weaker sections reservation keys, could potentially resonate. Parliament's receptiveness to this idea remains to be seen. This is about the admission which has been removed. Admission loan, like the education loan, has been stopped, cancelled by the U.S. government. Let's read this. Choose a new palette for India's creative economy. Digital platforms and technology have enabled Indian artists and artisans to reach wider audiences. However, they face challenges that are related to economic sustainability, market access, and digital divide, the crime in the hot word and preservation. A collaborative model promoting cultural economy can help encourage India's soft power by creating an economic ecosystem of innovative technology-based startups, providing guidance, technology support, infrastructure, access to investors, and networking opportunities. So the creative economy is one of the youngest and fastest growing sectors with unique challenges that often go unnoticed by public and private investors. There is now growing recognition of the economic importance of the arts sector as it helps in the creation of jobs, economic growth, tourism, exports, and overall societal development. Recognizing the importance of culture, importance of culture, the UNESCO World Conference on Cultural Policies and Sustainable Development, Mondiacat no 2022, was held to address contemporary issues in multicultural societies. The goal was to share a vision for the future of cultural policies and to reaffirm the international community's commitment to leveraging culture's affirmative power for sustainable development. Challenges and status of artists. Online platforms, social media, and digital content creation enable artists, writers, filmmakers, musicians, and other creatives to engage with audiences and monetize their talents. So while Indian artists and artisans play a vital role in preserving traditional art forms and creating contemporary artworks, they face challenges that are related to economic sustainability, market access, and the preservation of traditional art forms in a rapidly changing society. Government support cultural institutions and initiatives provide financial assistance, training programs, and opportunities for artists to exhibit their work. However, more efforts are needed to promote contemporary artists as brands and ensure equal representation and financial assistance. There are challenges in the selection of artists for financial assistance in organizing cultural events. Lack of transparency in the selection process creates inequality in representation. There is no systematic or traditional mechanism in place to provide this assistance. And the selection process is often random or based on subjective criteria. So, talented artists, particularly those based outside the city, are unable to gain from sponsored platforms. Additionally, unlike in other countries, there are no serious efforts by private or public institutions to promote contemporary artists as brands. Artists and artisans with creative ideas require a market research, business facilitation, and a platform. Crime in the heart of work includes art theft, copyright infringement, forgery, fraud, and illicit trafficking. Addressing these crimes requires increased security measures, international cooperation, public awareness, and advanced technology for authentication and tracking. Tackling crime is in the hard world will help foster a healthy creative economy. Hard works depicting or exploring criminal activities as well as criminal activities within the art industry pose significant challenges. There is no institutional infrastructure, expertise, and technology to verify the original artwork. The gap is leading to injustice towards the genuine artists. These offenses affect cultural heritage and cause financial harm and erode public trust. Exploitation of Indian artists are unaccounted money preserved through artworks and the dissemination of disinformation about cultural history through various media only compound the issue. Solutions include increased business security measures, international cooperation, public awareness, and advanced technology for authentication. Regular audits of acquired artworks can enhance trust and preserve a collection's integrity. An institutional record of incoming and outgoing artworks with a verified and identification mark is required. A workable solution having a collaborative model promoting the cultural economy is an affirmative solution to address the challenges faced by the creative economy and promote the economic contribution of culture. To promote economic growth, a solution can be to encourage India's soft power by having a capacity building center. This should help create an ecosystem of innovative technology based startups in the arts and crafts sector, providing guidance, technical support, infrastructure, access to investors, and networking opportunities. The needs of artists must be bridged through training, professional development, market access, and participation in larger communities and networks. A facilitation center would help foster knowledge sharing, economic empowerment, and sustainable livelihood solutions for artists and artisans. Data analytics should be used to foster creative ecosystems that contribute to a sustainable world. The government, along with private players, can empower artists, help bridge industry gaps, and contribute to the overall development of the creative economy by providing support resources and opportunities for innovation and entrepreneurship. Additionally, existing institutions should address the various needs of artists, such as training, professional development, material support, access to markets, public validation, and participation in large communities and networks. A facilitation mechanisms should operate by focusing on fostering knowledge sharing, networking, and economic empowerment for individual artists and creative entrepreneurs by offering business training, incubating innovative projects, and connecting them with global marketing platforms, tools, and practices. The center should also be a platform to provide sustainable livelihood solutions for artists and artisans through our participatory models, leveraging the latest ICT tools to enhance their participation in the business ecosystem. It is also time for new data that shed light on emerging trends at a global level as well as putting forward policy recommendations to foster creative ecosystems that contribute to a sustainable world. Finally, the economic and cultural significance of art, culture, and the creative economy in India, while addressing challenges and proposing solutions, should support the growth and development of artists and artisans as a whole. This is about the Indian Academy about the artists. Let's go to the next page. Relief again. No one should be denied limited spite from arrest to pursue legal remedies. An inclusive social policy for migrants. Gujarat's bridges to nowhere. The recent spate of newly built bridges collapsing has tarnished that state's image. China of its body soon. No Muslim MPs even in states with high Muslim presence. Wheat shortage predicted. The Muslim MP share in the Lok Sabha has an inverse relationship with the BJP's MP count. Cabinet gives note to data protection bill. Legislation will be introduced in Parliament in the monsoon session. It specifies norms on management of personal data of Indian residents. Activists have raised concerns on an amendment to the HATIA Act 2005 that would prohibit government departments from sharing personal information. Was elected NCP chief on June 30. Ajit Shah tells SEC SC extends interim protection for Teesta. Schools in Manipur reopen after 2 months. A 10-year jail term for 10 people in Tebraj Ansari lynching case. UCC issue purely legal, made political. Muslim board. Team of PCPI, CPI to visit Manipur. PM should take you from Rahul and visit violence state. Congress. Fear of law fine to imperma. Courts bid to spur animal protection. The case pertains to be inquired to the haunting of a chinkara, the state animal of Rajasthan by a person in 2011. Court says move to award a portion of penalty to the imperma would encourage more people to report killing of endangered animals to the authorities and make society sensitive to wildlife protection. Move to the intermediate to introduce UCC a link to Hindu Rashtra Amartya Sen. Chinkara is an endangered animal species which the court has stressed the importance of wildlife protection and said it was the duty of citizens. Pawar's lack horns for party dominance. Rival factions of the Nationalist Congress Party engage in a war of words. Pawar's senior wants Ajit that the BJP will destroy its allies. Nephew says that his uncle consider retiring from active politics. Maharashtra speaker scrutinizing dual disqualification petitions. In boost to ties, Taiwan to set up office in Mumbai. Third IP economic and cultural center in India after New Delhi and Chennai. As grain deal nears deadline on July 17, US urges India to use unique wines with Russia. Man united on a tribal youth arrested. Gender in physics meet in Mumbai from July 10th. Teenager killed in Bengal Panchayat pool violence. Chandrayaan 3 integrated with launch vehicle LVM3. Let's read this LVM3 article. The launch window is between July 12 and 19, and the orbital rising will take place soon after launch. The lander and orbiter will orbit the moon before touching down on the lunar surface. The Indian Space Research Organization, which is planning to launch the Chandrayaan 3 moon mission in July, integrated the spacecraft with the launch vehicle Mark 3rd. On Wednesday, so the space agency tweeted today at Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota, the encapsulated assembly containing Chandrayaan 3 is mated with LVM3. The ISRO is ready to announce the date of the launch. However, the launch window is between July 12 and 19. ISRO chairman S. Somanath said that the space agency would pick the earliest possible date. Chandrayaan 3, India's third moon mission, follows Chandrayaan 2 to demonstrate end-to-end capability in safe landing and roving on the lunar surface. It consists of an indigenous lander module, a propulsion module (PM), and a rover with an objective of developing and demonstrating new technologies required for interplanetary missions. According to the ISRO, the lander has the capability to soft land at a specified lunar site and deploy the rover, which will carry out in situ technical analysis of the lunar surface during the course of its mobility. The lander and the rover have scientific symbols, payloads. The main function of the PM is to carry the LM from launch vehicle injection till final lunar 100 km circular polar orbit and separate the LM from the PM. So the PM also has one scientific payload which will be the operated post separation of the helium. After its launch in mid-July, the orbiter raising will take place. The lander and orbiter will orbit the moon before touching down on this moon. On the moon, Mr. Somnath had stated that the ISRO has ordered more fuel to the lander. Chandrayaan 3 will be going on the same path as its predecessor and will be landing on the same site. The ISRO on Wednesday integrated the Chandrayaan 3 spacecraft with launch vehicle Mark 3 at the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. This is about the LVM 3 launch vehicle. Modi will visit 4 states to launch infra projects. India not averse to imposing barriers to clean energy imports, says Union Minister. PhD now compulsory for teaching jobs. UGC was the UGC University Grants Commission on Wednesday relaxed the criteria for my appointment of teachers in colleges and university by reversing its own regulation, making a PhD degree mandatory for the post of assistant professors. Teachers' organizations welcomed the decision and they said they have been demanding that the UGC withdraw the 2018 regulation. PhD qualification for appointment as an assistant professor would continue to be optional. The national eligibility test, state eligibility test, and state level eligibility test shall be the minimum criteria for the direct recruitment for the post of assistant professors for all higher education institutions. UGC Chairman M. Jagdish Kumar said the amendment will come into force from July 1st. Yes, very nice move. Telangana Kerala CGA as recommended by College for SC. Dasaratha's apprehension. 15 dead, 4 missing as heavy rain lashes southwest China. Thailand parliament to vote on new prime minister on July 13. 9 people shot and wounded in DC as violence march July 4th. 4 new countries consulted to join OPEC, says Secretary General. 12 Palestinians, 1 soldier killed in as Israel ends raid in West Bank. Russia, Ukraine warn up attack on nuclear plant. UK, Canada, Sweden, Ukraine take Iran to top UN court. Iran blamed an air defense operator who they said mistook the Boeing 737-800 for an American cruise missile. Philippines blames China for boats for harassment. French police who protesters pose a problem EU. A global rupee may raise volatility. Rupee internationalization could come in conflict with domestic monetary policy, caution officials of an interdepartmental group of the RBI. However, the group asserts that the benefits of internationalization far outweigh the various concerns. PMS signals services growth eased to 3-month low in June. Government malls rating from firms on GST compliance. Biocon unit to buy SBL facility for 702 crore. Farm easy to raise 2,400 crore from Ranjan by others. Finished steel imports from China surged to 6 year high. Tata Steel committed to achieving 40 MTPA. Hada Arjuna elected BFI president. Teams ready to ramble at Headingley. Headingley has England rings in the changes. Farm India streamer Praveen. Son survived car crash. Indian football on the rise with its settled squad. The progressive style of play and the never say die attitude have worked well for the Blue Tigers, and the Indian defense conceded just 2 goals in 9 matches across 2 tournaments. Team India meets the legendary all-rounder Gary Sobers. King powers West Indies to its maiden win in Super 6 stage. Afghanistan beats Bangladesh on ODLS method. India wins a 2-day France fifth stage, takes overall lead. Hardik to lead India in 220s in WI. Emotional coast turns it around against Sakari. Mavi Seth Shine has central puts the squeeze on west. Kavirapa restricts north, but Baltage and Rana strike back as pieces of call the shots. Aryan and Lanesia are best swimmers. More records go overboard on the final day. Karnataka, which won the men's and women's team titles, also clinches overall championship. Silva nominated Best Asian U20 athlete of year. Avneet Priyansh Dew bags compound gold. Space Jams men and Kochi Stars women triumph. Yuki's double success will inspire many. Balachandran, the experienced coach who is working diligently with support from Bopanna, is happy to drive the progress and expects the likes of Mainini, Jeevan and Balaji to replicate the feat of winning a tour title sooner than later. From an Iranian jail to Wimbledon Royal Box, thanks to Murray. From Iranian jail to Wimbledon Royal Box, thanks to Murray. The emotional meeting with Najanin Jagari Ratcliffe, who spent 6 years in an Iranian jail cell after inviting her to watch him from the Royal Box at Wimbledon on Wednesday. Feeding off the Victor Mbanyama budge in the league, Hekweja on the number one draft picks in the history of the NBA. A new smart bandage raises the bar for treating chronic wounds. In March 2023, a study published in Science Advances purport to help accelerate healing of chronic wounds using a wearable, wireless, flexible, smart bandage as big as finger. This advanced device can deliver drugs while monitoring healing status and transmitting to a smartphone. Observing gravitational waves critical to study of the cosmos. Information carried by gravitational waves can allow scientists and researchers to analyze parts of the universe that are difficult to observe in any other way. Nuclear reactors and power. Expressway was it's a tough road ahead for Channapatna's tire makers. Many residents of Ramanagar district who are dependent on tire business are struggling for livelihood ever since the Bengaluru-Mysore Expressway opened. So it's difficult to harn in this way. Bangalore University Senate opposes new bill. Plum ventures into bridge insurance. Aims profitability by financial year 25. Belur Raghunandan's play Matha on Manjamma Jogati to be staged today. The play also probes questions of femininity of folk art, theatre, family, and creativity. How abuse led a trans woman to seek refuge in Jogati Nritya. Embrace all that you are, says renowned folk artist, actor, and activist Manjamma Jogati about her fight with the body that was at odds with itself and the world. I would like to tell many community no one will come and recognize you. You have to recognize yourself. Sabolawa Vittal takes listeners on a journey to Pandarpur. South Korean plays Day Comes to Bengaluru. Helping Hand, classical concert. Text and context. This is the last 2 pages. Cash strapped Pakistan slashes trade deficit in financial year 2023. The annual inflation rate in Turkey went down last month. The Central Bank of Singapore suffers a record net loss. The world hottest ever day was recorded on July 3rd. Private sector lender HDFC Bank's credit book rises in fact on Q1. The risks of the Zaporizhzhia and BP. Why is the Ukrainian nuclear power plant a matter of concern? What has the Lithuania-based Bellona Foundation report outlined? How is this nuclear plant different from the Chernobyl power plant? What agent is used as the moderator and coolest in the reactor? Zaporizhzhia and PP nuclear power plant. Why is the reactor designed? The story so forth. What is the risk of Zaporizhzhia? Zaporizhzhia are the best case scenarios. What are the other concerns? Iran's reduction in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Why will the entry of the SCO's newest member aggravate its image of being anti-West? Wow, how and why Dickens characters easily lend themselves to adaptations. The pleasing symmetry of great expectations, despite the fact that the celebrated writer touched upon the inequalities of class, wealth, and privilege as well as imperialism, contributes to its constant top of the chart status. It is nice. Key characters. June 21st was celebrated as World Music Day. It is a quiz on Indian classical music. This is the last page of the Hindu newspaper. I hope you guys have enjoyed the newspaper reading, and I hope you guys read at least 2 hours a day to make you better in communications, to make you better in fluency. So I hope you guys follow the same. So I please subscribe the channel, like and comment for more videos related to education, healthcare, and communication, and personal interviews. So have a great day. Bye bye. Take care. See you in the upcoming videos.